everybody, Tim Norris here, or you can call me Gray Elephant. And today, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be taking a look at the gaming mat that has been sent to me by Quiver Gaming. Now, this is going to be a Kickstarter, and typically we do things with board games, and so this is going to be a little bit different because just like when we did Meeple Source, taking a look at their customized components, this is going to be more of a game accessory that we're going to be taking a look at. Something you can put on your table and maybe protect it from damage, or just overall just give a bit more of a comfort to the gaming zone. Now, one cool thing about this is that I've had this mat now for, oh, I bet you it's been about a month, maybe a month and a half. I would say I've recorded over 100 games on this mat. So what I am going to show you is a mat that has had easily that many games played on it, and not just by me and my wife, but by our entire gaming group. So let's take a look at it closely to see how it's held up, and I'm also going to show you some of the pros and possibly the cons that I found after gaming so much on this mat. Alright guys, so I've actually set up a light at this end. I'm not going to show you I'm just going to show you the base and at this end as well, because if I put the camera directly on the light, it'll probably blind you. Now, I am sure that the manufacturer, Kevin, I've been in talks with him, is more than content with me showing his mat off in such a bright light, because I'll be honest guys, I've already explained to you, we've probably played 100 games on this, and as you can see, it's held up pretty good. I mean, look, I mean, it just falls right back down. I like that. Now, it took me probably 3 full days before this would actually lay completely flat on my table. And even then, I would have the corners bent up a little, but I found I just bend them back the other way. And I mean, that's what I like about this thing. Look at this. Rack. I mean, look at that. Rack, rack. I mean, I can fold that thing and no creases, no tears, no nothing. I mean, I think, you know, I hate to say I could abuse it, but that's kind of what you're doing. Now, I did get a little nick in it, and that was my fault. And I tell you, it's right here. See that? Now, it doesn't actually, you can't even really feel it with your finger, but I actually dropped the corner of my game on it one time, and that did that. But, I mean, I'm going to take a little shot back where you guys can see it in full, and hopefully that light's not giving you guys too much of a glare. But yeah, that is 100 games played on it. It is getting a bit more matted on the texture of it. But, you know, isn't it supposed to, right? I mean, it's not affecting anything. So what I'm going to do now, guys, is I am going to do a test on this. And I am going to show you what I have experienced playing card games and dice games and tile games on this mat. Alright guys, so I have got 3 total tests here for you. We're going to do card games, we're going to do dice games, and we're going to do tile games. I mean, let's face it, that's pretty much all the games there are, right? First test will be card games. Sleeved cards catch. And I'm going to try to listen for this, okay? I just want you to hear it. You hear that? See how it's crunch, 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 crunch? Okay, what it's doing is it catches on the corners. And if you notice, I just have my finger in the middle and it moves the card, okay, because it catches on the corner. So you're sliding the card towards you and it does catch. When they're not sleeved, though, listen. And they even kind of raise up off the board some. So I love it when they're not sleeved. When they're sleeved, it can be kind of a nuisance, but I don't sleeve very many cards, so that doesn't bother me too much. You know, and one thing that I do want to note is that picking the cards up, though, is a breeze. Whereas sometimes, you know how you can be fighting to try to get a card off the table because, you know, you have to just, like, slide it to you? I've never had that experience with this mat, so even out of sleeve. I mean, you could get your fingers right under it because the mat actually, like, raises the card up off the board a little bit. So even though when you slide it, it will catch with the sleeves, you can always pick it straight up and not have a single issue. So I love that about it, okay? So, all right, let's switch to something else. A tile game. You guys saw our video of Sultania? Of course you did. You guys watch all our stuff, don't you? So, this is your main board, and you're going to have tiles, and you're going to have to place them on there. Now, just like with sleeved cards, these will catch. Oh, see, they both caught right there, okay? The corners will catch, okay? So trying to slide them, and especially like a game like this where you're trying to, this isn't a legal placement. Let's do a legal placement. So trying to place them on there and you're trying to get them just right, sometimes you'll actually bump your whole board and be like, ah, because it caught, you know, and it bumped into them. But once again, keep in mind, you know, I can pick these things up all day. You know what I'm saying? Because the mat raises even the tiles off the board. So a negative, yes, it does catch on these little corners, okay? Same with sleeved cards. A positive is just pick the darn things up. You won't have any problems, right? But we all like to slide our stuff around, don't we? Okay, dice games. You guys have seen us play a million games of Pathfinder Adventure card game, haven't you? Of course you have. Now, I want you to hear this. You ready? This is what I actually love the most about this mat. Because in the past, you know, rolling fistfuls of dice, you know, it's a racket waking up the neighbors and whatnot. But just let it... Oh, I love that noise. Let's do it again. I like that sound. We got to do them all again because I just love that. You ready? Here we go. Man, that's such a good noise. We're going to do it one more time just because I like it so much. Bear with me. Ready? Isn't that beautiful? I love that sound. So, dice games, perfect. Maybe Pathfinder, Escape, Curse of the Temple. I mean, you got to roll like maniacs in that one. All of these are, you know, the noise is just negated with this mat. So what do I overall think of this mat, though? Why don't I just put the camera back and I'll tell you what I think. Alright, so that is the Quiver Gaming Gear mat. Now, what do I think? Now, it's really difficult for me to sit here and tell you guys, you know, I love it, you should get one for your table and blah, blah, blah. Because, I mean, let's face it, this was given to me. Like a lot of games we do videos and stuff on, you know, these things are given to us. And it's really tough for me to sit here and say, you guys should go out and get one. And this is no different. And especially since how this is more of an accessory than a game. But with that in mind, this is one of those accessories that's going to probably stay in your collection versus being probably traded or sold off like games usually are. Let's face it, we get tired of games. This is not something that you'll probably get tired of. So what my experience with this is that I love it, okay? I don't want to game without it. I've never had a gaming mat before, and I've been to friends' houses, I've been to conventions, played on their gaming mats, but this is my first gaming mat, and I absolutely love it. And I appreciate Quiver sending this to me because I would have never realized what I was missing. Now, if I did have my druthers, I wouldn't have picked this color. I think gray's kind of ugly. I'd have picked the green or something like that. But that's where you guys get to make your own selections. You guys get to pick your own colors, your own sizes. And I do have the little press release thingy here. And it looks like the Kickstarter is going up on the 17th. And they do have 3 different sizes. And I'm sure as the Kickstarter goes, they may even have other customs and stuff like that. But it looks like 3 feet by 3 feet, 3 feet by 4 feet, 40 inches by 58 inches. And the prices are ranging between $85 to $109. So not cheap, but once again, let me just reiterate that this isn't a board game. This is something that you are investing in that you're probably going to have in your house for a long time. Not to mention, you know, for me, we always played on our tablecloth or we played on a table that really couldn't be scratched up. But if you have tables that can be easily scratched or damaged, this is great for protecting those, and especially for all you gamers whose spouses don't game with you that get mad at you because you game on their dining room table and you're leaving scratches. You know who I'm talking to. This will make the wife happy, right? So, anyways, I'm not here to sell the product as much as tell you about it. And one thing I will say is it did take, like I said, about 3 days for it to lay flat for me. But look, it flops on down, and you can't really see it, but the edge is just going flat down, no problem, just like a doormat would. I did roll this back up at one time to test it, and stored it for like a week, and then busted it back out and laid it. I noticed it still took it almost a full day before it would lay flat, because what I wanted to do is just see if it would naturally lay flat. So what I ended up doing then is I stored it again. I pulled it out of storage and tried to lay it down, and it did the same thing, but what I did then is I just kind of bent the edges myself and the opposite direction that they were bending, so they're curling this way, and I bent them the other way, and it would just lay flat down. And you guys saw me bend that corner back and forth, so as you can see, it's a very durable product. Now, I mean, I could have bent it flat over and pounded it with a hammer. I'm sure eventually I could damage it, but why would I do that? That's stupid. So anyways, that is the Quiver Gaming Gear mat. You could check out their Kickstarter by following this link. It'll take you directly to it. And hey, by all means, check out what they got. I think it's a fine product, but you guys will have to decide for yourself. And as usual, I appreciate you for watching. Bye-bye. Griffin Gaming, from new releases to pre-orders. Griffin Gaming. Enter in promo code GRAYELEPHANT for 5% off your order.